Daniel Farke joins the Foreign Legion in this year's championship, including Daniel Farke dreamed of being an author in days gone by. Now Norwich fans hope their creative new boss can write a thrilling new chapter in the club's history. Farke arrived in East Anglia this summer as championship hot seats saw a foreign invasion with Thomas Christiansen, Leonid Slutsky and Nuno Espirito Santo, taking charge at Leeds, Hull and Wolves respectively. Some Canaries supporters are already looking to the heroic Huddersfield story by David Wagner, who preceded Farke as Borussia Dortmund's reserve team boss, and eyeing a repeat at Carrow Road. Like his compatriot in Yorkshire, Farke pitched up a relative unknown to this country with the promise of fresh thinking after the gritty realism of last season when Norwich finished 10 points adrift of the playoffs. Farke, 40, said, "For sure, it would be great to be nearly so successful as David is and has been at Huddersfield. You can't praise that enough. He's done a really good job." Premier League newbie Wagner has often described his high-press, high-intensity style as full throttle, mirroring close pal Jurgen Klopp's approach. Daniel Farke, Norwich, age, 40, birthplace, Germany, honors, nil teams managed, Borussia Dortmund U23, 2015-17, oddment, he has never managed or played in Germany's top flight. His most notable season as a player was his 28-goal haul in 2002-03 for SV Lippstadt 08, where he spent most of his career. But it seems we can expect more patient, possession-based tactics from Farke, who likens his methods more to that of Thomas Tuchel, who was axed as Dortmund chief this summer. He made several trips over to Norwich to research the club, the town and the people, after being identified by Director of Football Stuart Webber, who hired Wagner at Huddersfield before joining the Canaries in April. So no wonder the affable German looked so at home behind his desk in his office at the club's training ground, where we conducted our 45-minute interview. Farke was hospitable and friendly, yet you soon sensed it was his way or the highway for those working under him. That means buying into the same ultra-committed approach to training employed by Wagner, with sessions on match days and far more contact time than your average English club. He said, "I'm not here to do anything the same way it was done here for the last 20 years. We know it's time for a change at Norwich. That's why the club wanted to engage me. They wanted my ideas, my working style and philosophy. It's normal for me to have double sessions and pre-activation before games. But it's not just about my ideas and expectation, it's always up to the players." Former Russia manager Leonid Slutsky is now manager of Hull City after Marco Silva left at the end of last season. Nuno Espirito Santo, Hull, age, 43, birthplace, Portugal, teams managed, Rio Avenue, 2012-14, Valencia, 2014-15, Porto, 2016-17, honors, nil oddment. The former keeper was called into the Portuguese squad competing at the Euro finals in 2008, but never played. He made 3 appearances for Portugal at under-21 level. If they are not open-minded and not up for these different ideas, you can't be successful. Despite the new, holistic approach to training and tactics, Farke insisted he is not reinventing the wheel and fans should not expect any witchcraft. He added, "It's all about results in football and being successful. On the one hand, there are ideas and philosophy, but in the end, it's only football. It's all about winning games, scoring goals and not conceding so many. I'm not a magician. For sure I have some pretty clear ideas and a clear style which I stand for and will work on. Slavisa Jokanovic from the Serbia is manager of Fulham. Championship Foreign Legion Fulham Slavisa Jokanovic, Serbia, Hull Leonid Slutsky, Russia, Leeds United Thomas Christiansen, Denmark, Norwich City Daniel Farke, Germany, Reading Jaap Stam, Holland, Sheffield Wednesday Carlos Carvalhal, Portugal, Wolves Nuno Espirito Santo, Portugal. But it's all about the players, they have to follow my lead. Farke knows it will be a long process after a summer of serious upheaval, with a multitude of first-team players leaving, including Wiska Jacob Murphy to Newcastle for £12 million. But he knew when he arrived that sales had to be made with budgets and salaries needing to be cut. Yet Farke is not your average manager. He has an economics degree and previously worked as a sporting director as well as a head coach. He is also very well read. The former amateur striker revealed, "I used to read a lot, particularly during my economics studies. In the earlier days, I really wanted to be an author or a film director. Now as a manager, sometimes you are too tired to read, so it's not always possible." Thomas Christiansen, Leeds, age, 44 teams managed, Al Jazeera, assistant 2013, Larnaca, 2014-16, Apol, 2016-17, honors, Cypriot First Division Ottoment, born in Denmark to a Spanish mother. Former striker Christiansen was raised in Copenhagen, but made 2 senior appearances as a player for Spain in 1993, scoring 1 goal against Lithuania, and also played 11 times for the Spanish under-21 side between 1990–95. I read some philosophy stuff like Hermann Hesse and Jean-Paul Sartre, to Dostoevsky and Shakespeare. On the other hand, I like to read something trivial, biographies, criminal thrillers. Football is about man management, so you can learn from other sports and other businesses. I always try to be open-minded for other influences to improve my style as a coach. So is there one particular philosophical quote that has stuck with him? Farke said, "I heard a pretty sentence from the conductor Herbert von Karajan. He was once asked, 'Why are you so successful? How were you able to work with so many musicians to make something great?' He answered, 'I try not to disturb my musicians while playing music.' He said it with a twinkle in his eyes, but you can learn from this sentence. Sometimes it's important as a manager to take a step back and say it's not about you, it's about the players on the pitch. Even from music, you can learn things to help your style. It certainly will be music to Norwich fans' ears if Farke can orchestrate promotion this term." Leonid Slutsky, Hull, age, 46 birthplace, Russia teams managed, Olympia Volgograd, 2001, Urala Nalista, 2003-04, Moscow, 2005-07, Krylia Softov, 2008-09, CSKA, 2008-11, Russia, 2015-16, Honors, Russian Premier League, 3, Russian Cup, 2, Russian Super Cup, 2, Ottoman. Slutsky's last game as a club manager was for CSKA on December 7, 2016 against an English club Tottenham in the Champions League.